Hi everyone, welcome. I am Divya Thakkar, editor at Humans of EV, and we are building a vibrant community around electric mobility. We're trying to connect people, share the latest news, trends, and insights to accelerate the transition to a sustainable future. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Mr. Vaibhav Bansal, founder and CEO of Aoneng Meglin Solutions, a pioneer EV charger manufacturer. With a master's in marketing from Aston University and a bachelor's from the University of Manchester, Vaibhav brings over 12 years of expertise in business development. He also holds leadership roles as promoter and head of B2B at Liberty Shoes Limited. And he's also the managing trustee of the Sanjeev Bansal Trust, reflecting his strong commitment to innovation and social impact. We are very happy to have you here today, Vaibhav.
Thank you, Divya. Thank you for the generous intro. I'm thankful to Humans of EV to give me the opportunity to be here to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Great. All right. So, Vaibhav, I understand that you have been working, on Aoneng Meglin Solutions. So, I just wanted to know, first let's go like an icebreaker thing. So, we'd like to know how did you start? So, could you please just share a bit about your journey and what led you into the EV industry and what inspired you to start Aoneng Meglin Solutions in the first place?
Okay. This journey actually began in 2019. So my wife and I we started exploring the whole renewable energy sector. We thought that where can we start a new venture, a new startup. So we came across three projects: batteries, EV charging, EV two-wheelers, three-wheelers. But initially, I was more inclined towards manufacturing of EV components and particularly the EV charging station guns. And this is where I started my research from. How are these guns made? What are these guns about? What are the three different standards that exist in the world? So it was a major challenge for me because the data that was available online that time was very limited. I went to a few of these societies, but they were also very reluctant in sharing the data. So with a lot of struggle, actually I actually gathered the information that okay, these are the standards, the GBT, the CCS, and the CHAdeMO, and what it means, and how it actually works. I figured that out. And then the most helpful trip was the trip to China. The trip to China actually opened my eyes to actually see that where India stands and where we actually can be in terms of EV penetration. Because when no one was talking about EVs in India, there were more than 50% EV scooters being run in China. So, see, at the end of the day, China is a pioneer in bringing change to technology, and they do lead in the world in terms of innovation, in terms of any market research. Um, and I got a lot of data from there, a lot of learnings where we figured out that okay, this is what we can do, this is the potential that India has. And the after I went and I saw that okay, let's not only do EV charging station components, let's make the whole charger itself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the whole process started. And I think in 2020 we started the process of making the charging stations, and along came COVID. and it was a struggle that time. But I think I took it in a very positive way that time, um, because I actually told my team, like, we got on a call with the team, and at that time everyone was disheartened that, oh my God, what are we going to do? Because the business has just started, and we had just developed the three-in-one combo charger,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone was like, oh my God, no, there's not going to be any work. Everything, all the funds are going to be exhausted to actually, get out of COVID. And the government is not going to pump in any money in EV charging stations or EV penetration. So I said, it's okay, we'll take it as it comes. It is the same for everyone.
That
And
is true.
we actually took that time to do R&D for our charging stations. We made sure that, our backend gets strong. um, we got in, our HR in place, our services in place during that time, so that when we launch, we have a strong backend.
Back end.
And I can proudly say today that our company's backend, our company's tech is strong enough to cater to our customers, and whatever the requirement is, we can at least go back and research and tell them that, okay, this is possible,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
rather than relying on China for that.
Yeah. So I think, yes, what you said completely makes sense that, COVID has been a time where people actually got detached with the regular huff and puff of their lives and could actually focus on things that are important, but they actually, kind of stay behind the shadows where you can't really focus on them. So I think that way, COVID has been quite a time for people.
Absolutely.
So anyway, moving on. So I think one of the most exciting aspects of what your company is doing is your work with the ultra fast charging technology, particularly in your Shine series. So, can you
Yeah.
tell us more about that and what sets it apart from the more typical chargers we see on the market?
So see, I'll give you the bifurcation of the rise and shine, what they actually mean. So rise are the slow chargers, the AC chargers, and shine are the DC chargers. The AC and the DC chargers, in the rise charger especially, we are making the chargers in a modular form, so that any component that is spoiled or it's not working, it can be easily replaced, rather than replacing the whole charger. And we are trying to do the same thing in the DC chargers as well. See, the technology right now is at such a nascent stage that it's going to is going to transform every 2 to 2.5 years. I'm
Mhm.
already seeing the difference that is there. In Europe, there are already banks that are being made with these DC chargers, and we subsequently are working on that as well, because it's not the time right now that we can launch these things, because they are relatively more expensive. But yeah, we are continuing our research in making the DC chargers as power banks as well, so that they can store energy. The input is at a lower um, power, and the output is higher. And they can, a battery can be installed within the charger, so that there's not a high demand at any given point of time on
Okay,
the grid.
sounds great. Sounds great. Nice. So, that's what you aspire to do with the Shine series,
Yeah, that's what we
right?
aspire to do with the Shine series.
Great, great. Okay, so what would you say are the biggest benefits of these chargers that you're saying that you need to have a power bank in there, and
Um,
for both EV owners and the charging station operators here?
the EV owners and the power bank operators, see, as soon as you have a lower power input into a charger,
Mm-hmm.
your fixed cost goes down, because you
Mm-hmm.
don't need a higher charger. You don't need a higher connection
Mm-hmm.
for the charging station. On a 10 kilowatt or on a 15 kilowatt input, you can plug in to a like a 60 kilowatt charger, and the power bank is going to store the energy, and then the output will come from the battery itself. So that's a very big advantage. Yeah, it will be a costly affair in comparison, but obviously with more batteries coming in and economies of scale being reached, it's going to the cost of the battery will go down considerably. And
Eventually, yeah.
these power banks can also be used as inverters later, and they can power homes, they can power any parking lots which are there, rather than being used through a genset.
Which could be a great advantage during natural disasters or, things like that.
On a daily basis as well, in the evenings,
Mm-hmm.
when there is power cut, like today, during monsoons, there are major power cuts during harvest season. There are a lot of power cuts, so at
Mm-hmm.
that point of time, these power banks can be used to power homes, to power smaller facilities.
Right. So the stored power can be used in a number of ways.
Absolutely.
Great. So I also understand that smart technology is a big part of your charges. So can you tell us more about the smart technology integration at Aoneng Meglin Solutions and what features have you included to really enhance the user experience?
So, see, all the chargers that we are making are OCPP compliant.
Mm-hmm.
And, going forward, the OCPP is going to be of great value to the government in terms of making sure that what kind of consumption that is being demanded by these chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Today, if we don't know the consumption, the grid is going to collapse. So
Agree.
all our chargers are OCPP compliant. We are obviously working on giving LAN cable connections, 3G and Wi-Fi connection, and any kind of failure that is there in any connectivity, it automatically steps to the other connection, so that the charger can be used seamlessly, and there is no offline mode, and charger cannot be used. So, if a charger is not online, if the charger cannot be used, it's of inconvenience to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's how we are making the charger smart. And uh, this smart charger thing obviously has come over time, because unless and until we know that what is the ground reality, and what a customer is experiencing on a day-to-day basis, we won't get to know. So we make sure that we are very well connected to our installation site managers, so that
Mm-hmm.
we actually are getting inputs from them, that okay, this is a problem that we are facing, this is a challenge that a person faced. I'll give you an example. Like 2 weeks back, at 10 a.m., I got a call from my operations head. He was in touch with a person in on who was standing at a site,
Mm-hmm.
and he was with the customer, the operations guy and the site guy, and he's like, sir, online nahi ho raha charger. And I said, barish ho rahi hai kya? And it was raining. It was not raining, it was pouring. So that is
Oh.
one thing that we figured out, that okay, बहुत ज्यादा बारिश है, उस टाइम कनेक्शन नहीं हो रहा है चार्जर के अंदर. So we need to now give a LAN port as well with
Mm-hmm.
with the charger. So then
Mm-hmm.
we made sure that we got a LAN port. See, these are practical problems which we are getting to know
Mm-hmm.
as time is passing, seasons are passing. We know charger अब पूरा मानसून सीजन से निकल गया है. There is no issue. 2 सीजन निकल गए. इतनी गर्मी थी,
Mm-hmm.
वो चार्जर ने आराम से निकाल लिया है, अब मॉनसून निकाल लिया है। सो वी नो हमारी आईपी रेटिंग एकदम अच्छी है, हमारा हीट विथस्टैंड कर रहा है चार्जर। सो these practically, when you get to know these things practically, like it actually gives you confidence that okay, we are heading towards the a good
A good
path.
direction, and we're fixing the problems on the way.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, I'm sure that, with this emerging industry that the EV charging is, and with all the jargons around it and everything, like especially the range anxiety and everything, so I'm sure there have been challenges that you've faced all through along, and one ongoing issue is the lack of standardization in the charging connectors as of now, like what we just
Yes.
talked about. So, how are you addressing that challenge, ensuring that compatibility across different EV models?
So charging compatibility across, uh, I would say, was a major problem at least a year back,
Mm-hmm.
where charging station tenders were coming out for GBT chargers, and there were no GBT cars that were being made because GBT was not being accepted very well by the companies because of I don't know, reliability or support from the back end. So now that the chargers that are coming out now are of all CCS.
Mm-hmm.
However, the existing chargers that have been installed, matlab, I'm seeing in Delhi, at so many places today, um, GBT chargers are installed, but they are not being used by any vehicle because GBT cars ही नहीं है। GBT cars जो हैं वो बैटरी से redundant हो गई हैं, like scrap हो गई हैं। So that's a major problem that is being faced today by the industry. I think I was also reading some analysis that there are only 2% of the GPT chargers that were installed are being used. So that's an alarming number today.
Yeah, I mean that's actually a loss everywhere.
Yeah, it's a loss of, I don't know how authentic that data was, but I
Mm-hmm.
I was quite surprised. But practically seeing like in Karnal itself, like there is Karan Lake in Karnal. वहाँ पे
Mm-hmm.
there is a GBT, there are two GBT chargers, but उसका
Mm-hmm.
consumption ही नहीं है because cars ही
Not
नहीं है
being
GBT
used.
का. Yeah.
Mm.
Now
So
that
I
was
think that's a huge gap.
that's a huge gap, but वो जीबीटी चार्जर प्री कोविड सैंक्शन हुआ था, बट वो पोस्ट कोविड लगा एंड देन उस टाइम पे इंडिया का फोकस
And
चेंज
it
हो गया है।
changed. Mm.
तो लाइक that's a major challenge.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
So, addressing this and then coming again to another big challenge, that is grid capacity and stability with the increasing number of EVs on the road. So, what are what is your firm practicing, doing work with utility companies to ensure that the grid can handle that kind of demand?
See, whatever installation we have done, we've always recommended our customer that you inform the grid that these chargers are being installed,
Mm-hmm.
because information to the grid is very important
Mm-hmm.
today. Be it in Delhi, be it in Karnal, be it in Pune, be it anywhere in UP, wherever we have done the installations, um, we have always told our customer that it is much better that if you take a connection specially for EV chargers, the utility company will give you a better tariff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Haryana gives you, I think, a subsidized rate. Yeah, Pune gives you a subsidized rate. Delhi gives you a subsidized rate for sure. And I think only parts of Haryana is giving you a subsidized rate. Like we did try in Karnal to get a subsidized rate, but I think it's lack of information that some of these the electricity boards have. They completely denied that. Oh,
Denied it.
हमारे पास सब्सिडी ही नहीं है, बट दिल्ली के
Oh.
अंदर है। मतलब आई हैव अ ईवी कार एंड आई हैव टेकन द कनेक्शन एंड इट्स फेयरली smooth
Mm-hmm.
to get the connection. I think
Okay.
it's they've capped it at 4.5
Hmm.
rupees.
So
Yeah.
that again, I think is an information gap between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is there, we also try through blogs, we try and um fill this vacuum where
Hmm.
information can be given to each customer on what basic stuff, like what a charger is, what are the different kinds of chargers. Some people say that 22 किलोवाट का एसी चार्जर लगा लीजिए, बट 22 किलोवाट का एसी चार्जर लगा के क्या करेंगे जब गाड़ी 7 किलोवाट के चार्जर को सपोर्ट करती है. So that's a major gap. Like we have
Hmm.
to really educate a customer. We have to be patient
Inform the customer.
to inform the customer that don't be misinformed.
Hmm.
Like
Agreed.
it's
Agreed.
I can simply just say कि क्या कहते हैं जी 22 किलोवाट का चार्जर ले लो, and I'll be very happy कि अच्छा मेरा तो rather than 7 kilowatt 22 kilowatt का चार्जर भी सेल आउट हो गया. बट
Hmm.
later on when that person gets to know कि 22 किलोवाट के चार्जर को तो कोई फायदा ही नहीं हुआ,
Wasn't even
so
required.
yeah, that is when he will have that impression कि I was misinformed, and which is not correct.
Exactly. Misinformed and took advantage of whatever a
Yeah,
customer might feel at that point of time, which is only
absolutely.
because of the gap of information and education with the technology moving on so quickly. And
Absolutely.
people have that gap. Like people would want to buy electric vehicles with half the information that they have, and then they're all
Yeah.
haywired
I,
getting
we
information about it.
we got a customer at one of our stations. He had a MG Comet, and
Mm-hmm.
he said 7 किलोवाट का चार्जर इसमें हो ही नहीं रहा है, वो धीरे हो रहा है चार्ज, वो तो दिखा रहा है कि मेरे को इतना टाइम लग रहा है. मैंने बोला सर वो गाड़ी ही सपोर्ट नहीं करती 7 किलोवाट के चार्ज को, अब मैं चार्जर का इसमें क्या गलती है. कि सर वो मुझे पता ही नहीं था, ये तो सिर्फ सुपर स्लो चार्जर को सपोर्ट करती है. तो दोज काइंड्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन customers don't get to know
I
initially,
I
so
think
it's very
it's
important.
Yeah, now since you've mentioned it, I think it's also the responsibility that when a person is buying a car, they have to be given the complete information or you know, a, a to-do list or, a manual kind of a thing that, what and how are things supposed to go around this.
Yeah, that's also important. But I'm sure, when a customer is being sold a car, he is informed by this. But it's also the chatter that is around the customer that वो 7 किलोवाट के चार्जर है, 22 किलोवाट के चार्जर है, गाड़ी इतनी जल्दी चार्ज हो जाएगी. See, it's not a very smooth journey today.
Mm-hmm.
I keep telling my team. I said हमें uh, okay, let me put it. When you go to a petrol pump today, in 10 to 15 seconds, you get 5 liters of petrol or fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 5 liters of fuel will give you an average in any car 10 kilometers 10
Yeah.
kilometers per liter. So you get 50 kilometers of range in 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
That in comparison to an EV charger, you have to bridge. वो EV
Mm-hmm.
चार्जर कितना टाइम लेता है 50 किलोमीटर रेंज देने के लिए. वो 10 मिनट लेगा या 50 मिनट लेगा ना. अगर वो 10 मिनट भी लेता है तो 10 सेकंड और 10 मिनट का
There's a
वो
significant
ब्रिज
gap here.
वो ब्रिज कैसे हम वो गैप को कैसे ब्रिज करेंगे. दैट्स वेरी
Mm-hmm.
इंपॉर्टेंट. So, it's a slow process. It's a mindset change. It's, range anxiety. Will the car work? Will the car be economical for me? Will the car be good in long run? मेरी बैटरी का क्या होगा 3 साल बाद? N number of questions are there.
And number of
EV
questions.
cars ईवी कार्स का तो अभी वो टाइम ही नहीं आया कि मैं अभी बेचना शुरू करूं. जब वो सेकेंड हैंड थर्ड हैंड होंगी, उसके बाद जब ईवी गाड़ी की बैटरी का रिप्लेसमेंट आएगा, मोटर की प्रॉब्लम्स आएंगी, तब पता लगेगा कि व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन.
That's
इट्स अ
true.
लॉन्ग
That's
वे.
true. It's a long way to go, and I'm sure there are again a lot of things that will unfold with time while walking the walk, I believe.
एब्सोल्युटली एब्सोल्युटली. And I think,
Mhm.
the good part is we are seeing the trends. We are seeing the trends. We can be conscious. We can be cautious about, what's happening and where certain countries have gone wrong.
Mhm.
Um, that's a learning for us. आज यूरोप के अंदर इतनी ईवी पेनिट्रेशन हो गई कि विंटर्स के अंदर उनको ईवी चार्जिंग स्टेशंस बंद करने पड़े बिकॉज उनके घर में इतनी बिजली नहीं थी कि उनके घर गर्म हो सके. So
Mhm.
that's a practical problem today.
Agreed. And who would have thought at the initial stage of, the switching to EVs in Europe, who would have thought that this kind of problem is also going to hamper the adoption there?
Absolutely.
Mm. Okay, so moving on, I'm sure that manufacturing such advanced charger also comes with its own set of financial challenges, like how you mentioned that, getting the power bank and everything would make things expensive. So how do you plan on tackling the high costs of manufacturing without compromising on the quality?
So see, you have to make sure, see, there are standards in place. We have to comply by the standard, the minimum IS standard that is written. And it's how should I say, it's a little inbuilt because of our legacy that is there, that we would not want to make any substandard product. We can be a little expensive, but we would like that the product that we give to our customer is of a certain standard and it should speak for the brand it comes with.
Hmm.
I sell the charger to you and I say thank you very much and I'm nowhere to be seen. It's not fair. Today I need to not only give the product to you, I need to give you service. अगर उसके अंदर कोई फॉल्ट आता है, आई नीड टू ओन अप टू इट ऑल्सो. अगर उसके अंदर आपको कोई ट्रेनिंग चाहिए, आई नीड टू गिव यू दैट ऑल्सो. अगर उसके अंदर कोई कंपोनेंट सही नहीं चल रहा, आई नीड टू रिप्लेस दैट ऑल्सो. So you have to build that confidence, and with substandard components, with substandard product being made, you cannot build that confidence. It's
Hmm.
very clear with us that
Hmm.
we want to use, अगर हमें एक मिनिमम लेवल मेंटेन करना है प्रोडक्ट का, तो हमारे को मिनिमम एक स्टैंडर्ड का कंपोनेंट लगाना ही है.
So I think that's all about the brand value and the customer satisfaction here.
Yeah, we want to focus that we give a good product,
Hmm.
not a substandard product. I'm not running only कि मेरे को तो सबसे सस्ता प्रोडक्ट बनाना है. मेरे को
Hmm.
इकोनॉमिकल प्रोडक्ट भी बनाना है और स्टैंडर्ड भी मेंटेन करना है प्रोडक्ट का.
The most efficient way of doing things.
Yeah.
Great. All right. So now let's shift a little towards the operational side. So as the founder, running Aoneng Meglin Solutions must come with again a set of challenges, collaborating with the team, keep being updated with the tech part, and all of these things. So what are some of the daily hurdles that you face, and how do you smoothly pass through them?
See, I would say, running any company comes with its own challenges. Running a startup obviously comes with more challenges. Um, I was sitting with a day with a couple of friends a week back, and they said that an entrepreneur's journey is a very lonely journey. And it, like, it struck to me, and, like, I kept thinking about this, like, oh my God, like, an entrepreneur's journey is very lonely, and then you have to deal with everything yourself. But yes, that's what is sometimes the the adrenaline for you, that okay, no matter how much pressure is there, I need to work through, I need to get this done. So, like, I would not pinpoint that, okay, this is the only challenge that I face on a daily basis. But yeah, there are operational hurdles that we face. There is a constant upgradation of product that we need to face. Like, the biggest I won't say fear. The biggest thing that I want to address is that we want to make sure that we are running with the upgrade of the product. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be in that situation that, oh, like, मेरा प्रोडक्ट किसी और से इंफीरियर है, अगर मैं
Mm-hmm.
प्रोडक्ट को सुपीरियर कर सकता हूं तो मैं बिल्कुल करूंगा.
That has to be
So
done.
that is one thing that is my major focus, that I want to make sure that my product at least is at par with the other products that are available. Like, uh, I think 3 or 4 weeks back, one of our customers told us that, अगर आप ऐसे करेंगे अपने प्रोडक्ट में, so, like, it'll just be better. So I just struck to me. I was like, yeah, this is a very good upgrade for my product. And I said, from tomorrow, like, change this. And we got this into testing. And once it is passed, we changed it. And now in
So, Vaibhav, another daily challenge that I think almost every other organization faces, but more into EV because it is a fairly, it's still, continuously evolving and people have to keep learning along with it. So, do you think, has it been a challenge for you to find skilled workers for the industry? And how important do you think it is to have the right workforce for the right task, and what steps are you taking to upskill your team here?
So obviously, to find skilled um team and workforce for EV charging stations, especially, is a challenge. Today, there is a lot of like, companies that are poaching, like, the workforce, because this requires a unique skill set.
Mhm.
But um, being said, like, we have tried to develop uh, a, an atmosphere where, like, the person is given that comfort, that, like, that they feel that, okay, this company is mine. And
Mhm.
we've seen it in our other companies as well. And, like, that legacy is flown down. And we try that, like, we are addressing the challenges that any person is facing. If any person is going through any issue, if a person doesn't understand stuff, if they have the zeal to learn, I think that is the most important part. And, like, we've always said that, yes, we can train people and, like, develop that skill set.
Great. So I believe you have a regular training and upskilling program running here because, anyways, even if your current staff is not poached, but you'll have new requirements every day coming in.
Absolutely,
So yeah, I
absolutely.
think I think that's a
We
must
keep
to have.
upgrading ourselves. Yeah, we keep
Yeah.
upgrading ourselves.
Mm.
I need
Oh,
to keep upgrading myself. I need to keep reading. I need to keep making sure that, like, whatever is happening in the industry, I know about it.
of course. All right. And finally, operating the charging stations isn't always as straightforward as it seems. So could you tell us about some of the challenges that you faced, like, the basic stuff like the securing of the land and, ensuring reliability over the electricity connections, or even vandalism, like how how people in India are.
Yeah.
So
So
how,
see, yeah, see
no,
all
I was
these
just asking
charging
that how do you
stations.
go through it? I mean,
Yeah.
come over it.
So obviously these challenges that that one faces um, on a daily basis, like, a practical use of a EV charging station is not as easy as it looked like
Mm-hmm.
when we initially started the operations of the EV charging station. We thought that, oh, like, we're going to make a sticker out of like, and we're going to just try that, okay, scan the QR code, register yourself, scan the above QR code, and click to start charge. and we started getting like numerous calls every day that how do you use this charger. So like then we detailed it out. We made sure that like we divided those three steps into actually seven different steps,
Mm-hmm.
and we made sure that we are writing the instructions in English and in Hindi. And we made like we did the installation in Pune, and we made it in Marathi as well, so that people understand how are you using the charger. Ultimately the charger is being used by not only owners but drivers, taxi drivers. Some people are literate, some people are illiterate. So that ease needs to be given. And um, we also have a 24-hour helpline available. If anyone gets stuck, they can call the helpline and ask that how do you use this charger, I am facing this problem. So these problems are being faced. There are certain problems that you face while securing a connection. Sometimes it's a slow process. Vandalization of a charger is also a major challenge. कभी कोई स्क्रीन तोड़ देता है, कभी कोई पुश बटन मतलब इमरजेंसी बटन खोल देता है, कभी कोई स्टिकर निकाल देता है खड़े खड़े. So these things will come slowly. Like they will understand that ultimately the guards are there, who can ask people not to do this. But these practical problems will come.
Yeah, but I think so. From what you're saying is that the regular maintenance is not going anywhere anytime soon. It has to be there every
Yeah,
time.
it's not going anywhere. Yeah, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Obviously, we are making sure that, when we initially started making the charger, we made it out of a thinner material. And
Mm-hmm.
because of this, one of the incident, vandalization ho gaya, so we changed the material of the exterior body itself, and we got into a thick metal, so that anyone
The more durable
like
one.
wants to even smash it with a bat, it doesn't break at least.
Yeah.
So
People
these things,
find
people.
innovative ways to let their anger out,
Oh
I
yeah, yeah.
guess.
No, I remember reading in Chandigarh there was an incident. They opened the charger and they took out all the components.
Really. All right. Okay, great. So, moving on, Vaibhav, to the future, how does it look like with the EV charging? So, what advancements do you see on the horizon of the EV charging space? And do you think technologies like vehicle to grid and wireless charging will become mainstream? And how do you think those are overall going to affect the adoption of EVs?
So EV adoption, see, we are very bullish about the EV adoption. The government is pushing the EV adoption in a very big way. Um, be it any of the fueling companies, IOCL, BPCL, HPCL, Niara, um, Gale, they all are pushing EV charging stations to be installed at various places, so that at least the range anxiety is not there in people. And
Mhm.
as far as V2G is concerned, as far as vehicle wireless charging is concerned, they are already being tested. I remember seeing a wireless charger in China in 2019. So if at that point it was being tested,
Mhm.
it's the technology exists. It's just that when is it going to be economical to
Enough
come
to put
into
it in
the
practice.
mainstream, yeah, to the mainstream market, where it can be used. At the end of the day, we need to make sure that the quality of the batteries is good, the quality of the chargers are good, and then there is um, enough supply of electricity. At the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day, it cannot happen that we have chargers, but we do not have electricity to support it. And I
Mm-hmm.
think solar has come in a big way and decreased the pressure on the grids, decreased the
Mm-hmm.
pressure on the thermal power plants. So that's of a very big advantage. We did installation of about 12 chargers in a company where they've installed about a 300 kilowatt solar plant,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not directly connected to the chargers, but the electricity is going to the grid, and chargers are being used free of cost by the employees over there.
Which is a great advancement, I believe.
Yeah, it's a great thing. If companies take such steps to aggressively promote electric vehicle EVs and
Mm-hmm.
usage of EV chargers, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, I think we can look towards a good move towards a sustainable future, I believe. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So again, as the industry moves forward, so now since we're talking about sustainability, now since the word has come into the conversation, so how is your company working to integrate sustainable practices in its manufacturing process? What greener solutions do you see on the horizon?
So, EV charging station manufacturing is a labor intensive
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously the assembly of the EV chargers is primarily done by the team. And these are engineers, these are electrical people who are installing the chargers. These are not unskilled or semi-skilled labor. There is not any question of sustainability here, but yeah, what we are trying to focus is that our chargers are not um, being connected. If we are installing a charger anywhere, we are not connecting it to any genset where the EV charger is being run by burning of fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and we are working on the technology that ultimately we need to install a battery in the charger where they can act like power banks, and it can be charger to grid or charger to home, that the flow of power can happen as well.
Mm-hmm. Great, great, great. So again, I believe the government here also has a big role to play in terms of EV adoption and how people or the manufacturers, the charging manufacturers or the OEMs, how do they look towards or what kind of opportunities they have in the EV sector. So the government already has enrolled several policies to support this, but schemes such as FAME 2, FAME 3, and the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan. How effective do you think these policies have been in supporting the EV charging infrastructure?
So, they have been very aggressive, and I think it's a great thing that the government now again has come up to support the adoption of EV, and they have taken a lead again in making sure that there is no range anxiety. At the end of the day, uh, with so many companies floating tenders for EV charger installations, I think it's a great step. And at least the big PSUs, they are installing these chargers on capex basis, so they
Hmm.
will run these chargers themselves. So at the end of the day, it's the government that has taken the lead again, and it's a fantastic step. And it's also being supported by lower tariffs by the utility companies, that this adoption again is further pushed. um PM e-bus seva, lower GST on EV cars, lower GST on EV charging stations, again is a major push for getting the prices lower for EV for EV mobility.
Okay. So I remember earlier in a question that you mentioned that while securing a power connection, it you get subsidies, and there are some places that the board people are not even aware of, or the customer, that they're not aware that they are eligible for a subsidy. So
Yeah.
you mentioned that in Delhi it was quite a smooth process for you to get one. So
Yeah.
how do you see the state level initiatives impacting the development of this infrastructure, and are there any states like leading the way, the ones that have really pushed it forward and everything has become smooth over there?
So I think Delhi is major one of the leaders in pushing this. Kerala is a is majorly pushing e-mobility.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Maharashtra is quite aggressive again with e-mobility and installation of EV chargers. I see that even Northeast has a lot of potential today to get e-mobility in place, because with tourism and I think it's being a clean place, so it has a major demand that it can have for EV chargers.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, an aspect of the government, the taxation, so we've seen the government has also reduced the GST on electric vehicles and chargers. And
Yeah,
how impactful do you think these financial initiatives in the EVs are there? Are they making it more affordable? Will this push the consumers to move towards it in an aggressive way?
absolutely. Absolutely. Today, if I am paying 48% uh, tax on a normal internal combustion engine car and 5% on EV, I think it's a major difference. I save on a lot of things. I am saving on fuel. I'm saving on obviously buying the car. There is lesser, um, lesser service cost. And then, I think we did an analysis per kilometer running cost of a EV charger is approximately about 1.6 rupees.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a major saving. And then obviously at the end of the day, responsibility also plays a major role. At the end of the day, if I'm driving a electric vehicle, at least I am being responsible for lesser emission like you know in the atmosphere.
Agreed. I think it's more about uh, understanding and delivering the kind of responsibility, the sense of responsibility of
Absolutely.
making this world a better place to live, because at the rate at which we
Absolutely.
have been exploiting it, it is now
Yeah.
necessary to be conservative in
We
that
need to we need
exploitation, I
to
believe.
bring about that change. We need to bring
Yes,
about
yes,
that change.
I think it's really necessary.
Yeah.
So, Vaibhav, I think now I would really want to ask you this question. I'm sure our viewers would also want to know that you being into charging, EV charging, manufacturing, and everything. So we know that every business comes with its own set of pros and cons. And I think moving forward with the widespread adoption of EVs, there would be more and more people who would want to get into this kind of business. So is there a particular, is there a particular advice that you would want to give to people who would want to get into this sector now?
Um, I think the more the merrier. I have always encouraged people that whoever comes in to this business will come with its own mindset and something more innovative.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm very open to sharing ideas with people for EV charging station, how it's being run, how how we can innovate in this industry. And I think, like, we get to learn by talking to people. So I'm one advice I would say is that, like, we can't today over invest in it. We need to sustain the growth of our any company. Like, at least I follow that I don't want to over invest and make sure that, like, oh, I'm going to make the charger and going to make it like uh, not making sure that I'm losing money from my pocket. But yes, we need to sustain the development. We need to give a good product to our customer, and we need to make sure that we're giving a service to the customer. uh, like, even 5 years down the line, if today my customer needs a service for the product, I'm there to give it, even after 5 years.
Mhm. Great. So I think once you want to enter this sector, it is necessary to take care of what's going on technically and also keep your focus ultimately to the end user that you're delivering to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yes. All right. So I think this is where you know we've had a good chat. I think there was a lot of knowledgeable insights that we have gotten from you, and I'm sure all the viewers had a great time listening to you, and they would have had something to take back. Everybody who's attending this, and I'm sure they have something that they are going to take back with them as a learning or as an insight or as a knowledge part for them. So I would really like to thank you, Vaibhav, for sharing all the incredible journey and insights with us. And the EV charging space is undoubtedly one of the most critical aspects of the industry's growth, because unless that is solved, the adoption of EVs would be at a halt. I think the way EV charging moves forward would be the same pace at which, people would adopt the EVs, whether it be two-wheelers or four-wheelers or three-wheelers, anywhere. So, again, a big thank you to everyone who's attending today for your time and engaging with us in this conversation. And we look forward to hosting more discussions like this in the future. And a big thank you to you, Weber, once again.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Humans of EV. Thank you so much, Divya. I had a lovely time, and I'm glad I can be a part of this great work that you're doing to educate all the people about EV adoption. And I look forward to being a part.
Great. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
Weber.
you. Take
All
care.
right. Thank you.